I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hello guys, welcome back. Another episode of Oops the P. I'm sitting here with my boy Lynch. We are feeling good. We're doing it. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing it with you.
Yeah, we're doing it together.
Doing well, bro.
We're doing it to each other.
How has life been lately?
It's been good, dude. I have like a great adventure story for you. Okay.
Okay.
So I had 2 gigs in Boston. Paid well. Like I was excited to do them. Well, one of them at least, but I knew that they would be challenging. Okay. So I was like, I'm going to go up a little early, and there's these 2 national parks that are in Vermont and New Hampshire, respectively. I'll go up there, I'll check them out, and then I'll stay the night, and then it'll cut my drive to Boston time in half. So like the next day, I'll only have to drive 2 hours to get to my gigs instead of 4, right? Which I know that I've already driven more than that the day before, but to me, somehow that makes sense, okay? So I go to these 2 really cool national parks, which brings me to 190 total. The first one was this Augustus Gaudens, something like that. Augustus St. Gaudens National Park. So it was this famous American sculptor, who did a bunch of sick shit, including he made these coins that are worth like millions of dollars now. Like just like a sick artist of the time, like made great sculptures, whatever, a bunch of famous ones.
Okay.
Anyway, he has this sick property in New Hampshire that is in this town, this like, I want to say, I forget the name of the town, but it's like right on the Vermont border. You can check it out. But anyway, the house is sick, dude. And this guy is just clearly a super creative guy. Like the grounds are sick. Like him and all his boys bought houses up there and like they made them insanely sick. And even the interior of the house had like really creative choices. It was just like kind of inspiring to get up there and check it out. So that was the first place that I went to. I thought that was really cool. There was also an artist. They have an artist in residence there, like for the whole summer, sculpting. I followed the guy. I'll show you guys so you can check him out if you want. And it was cool. Like you can go in and like, pull up on him while he's sculpting and doing cool shit. And I was like, I was like, dude, this must be annoying that people pull up on you. And he's like, it's part of the job. It's all good. He was like a cool dude.
I bet he loved it.
So this guy's name is Davis.Fecit. He makes sick shit, dude. Like this is the thing. It's really cool. Like check this out. Like this is the little cabin he's in. It's like off the side of the property. Really cool stuff. So yeah, and dude, like the sculptor is buried on the property. The grounds are sick. There's all these like sculpture gardens, like just really, really fucking sick. Like, and then the next place that I went was called the Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historic Site or National Historic Park, which is part of a private thing as well. They like split it. There's like the Marsh Billings Rockefeller Farm and then the house, whatever. But just like this really big estate that's like right next to Mount Tom in Vermont. Really pretty and really cool. And just kind of walked around there a bunch, enjoyed that. Also, people on Twitter started asking me, they're like, you should rank the national parks. And I was like, well, I could, but it would be hard to do. But then I was like, all right, I could probably put them in a tier system of tiers 1 through 4. The problem with doing this is the things that I'm putting in tier 4, people are getting offended, but I've already said, I'm like, the point of this is like, they're all, I stand by this. They're all really great. Like I haven't been in one where I was like, that sucked. Not once.
Not once.
Not a single time. 190 of them. But inevitably some are going to be in tier 4, but that doesn't mean that I thought it was bad. You know what I mean? But for these specific 2, I'd say that the first one in New Hampshire, I would put as a tier 3 and the second one as a tier 4. Still sick, but like, look, like a house can't compare to Yellowstone. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So anyway,
That's good. That's good decorum amongst the group.
It's good stuff.
Let them get mad about that. It's Brookline, New Hampshire.
Brookline, New Hampshire. Got it. Yeah, really fucking cool. And then I stayed in Keene, New Hampshire. Have you heard of Keene? Nice little town, city, I guess if you want to call it. A lot of vagrants walking around, which I was kind of surprised by. Just like old looking meth pill looking people.
That's what vagrant means?
Kind of. Like a vagrant is a person who's sort of like not a positive contributor to society. And that's
Let's
generous.
define it. Let's play define it. He said someone that
What I said was generous. It's worse than that.
vagrant, a person without a settled home or regular work who wanders from place to place and lives by begging.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the underline the two key words there was begging and wander.
Begging and wander. Had a nice night there and then set off to do these 2 gigs. So these are the gigs. The first one is a corporate gig. It was in Gillette Stadium.
Shit.
Yeah. I wasn't playing the stadium. I think the weekend was actually playing the stadium the next day, but I was in one of the sort of clubs and it was this company's annual thing. Every comedian knows that these gigs can be difficult, but you typically are paid handsomely. So it makes it okay. So you don't care. Now I get on stage and I'm supposed to do an hour and I did an hour and I immediately, I'm like, all right, this is going to be difficult, but I just got to like make it happen. And I would say that if this were to have been a club show, I would have said that it was bad. But given that it was this, I think I did really well. I actually think I did really well. I had big moments where they were like laughing really hard and they were just tough. They were like, maybe didn't care. And then like, I didn't maybe close as strong as I could have, but like, I mean, dude, I was giving them everything I had to try to like keep them engaged. They weren't super interactive either. I was trying to like play around with them. They kind of weren't into it. So I was like, all right, like I just got it, but I got them. And I also am like not allowed to be dirty, but the things that I was like testing the limit with were all killing.
Mm-hmm.
So like naturally, if I were just up there being dirty, it would have killed, but I'm not allowed to. It's like an interesting catch-22. All good, right? I get through that feeling like $1 million. Now here's the problem, Lynch. I agreed to perform at a high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A high school.
Waiting for this one.
Yeah, dude, a high school graduation. So it's not like the literal graduation. It's like, you know how some high schools do this where
It's the don't kill each other or fuck each other, do drugs, sleep away 24 hours after graduating.
It's funny. Everybody knows about this except city kids. Like I've been telling some of my friends who are from here and they like don't know what I'm talking about, but everybody else knows. So, okay. So yes, it's exactly that. The thing where on graduation night or prom night or whatever, they give you a full entire evening of activities so you don't drink and drive, etc. So I was supposed to perform at that. So initially my friend who actually hooked these gigs up, and I appreciate him for doing this, but he's like, do you want to perform at a high school? And I was like, oof, I don't know, dude. He's like, this is how much it pays. I'm like, that's not enough. And he's like, you do, I don't know, like an hour. I'm like, I was like, no way. I'm not doing it. And he's like, all right. I was like, ask me again in 2 weeks. Maybe I'll like be feeling better and maybe I'll like agree to something like that. So he calls me back 2 weeks later. He's like, what about doing like 20 minutes? And I was like, I'm already going to be there. Now, mind you, this is, I would argue now that it wasn't worth the money.
But when you said yes.
So I'll tell you off the air and then you can tell me if, and I'll answer your question, but do you have a reaction to the amount of money that I just said?
Without knowing any specifics, like how many kids there were,
Okay, yeah.
the venue, like what were the acoustics? I don't want to say it.
Okay. So a gym, open gym, and there's like Super Smash Brothers on the wall. Like people are playing video games. There's a pool table. There's like 9 other areas of activities. There's probably 300 kids maybe total in this building. They're coming in and out. And the comedy setup is on the side. There's one kind of couch. And then like the kids were going to kind of like crowd around and stand and sit or whatever. So that was sort of, the acoustics were terrible. And you know, whatever, like they were fine, but like in order, like I have a joke where I like put my phone up to the microphone to like play a recording. You couldn't hear it when I did that. Okay. So I get there, it's like 11 PM. The guy goes on and announces me and then it's like, we have a comedian. Everybody like runs over all excited. And then dude, I just absolutely fucking ate shit for 20 minutes.
From the get-go?
From the get. I started out strong, just trying to like hype them up, being like, oh, you guys graduated? Ah, fuck yeah. Ah. Where are you going to college? New Hampshire. Ah. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
They did that for a bit?
I did a bunch of that for a couple minutes. Then there's this kid.
I just did the whole time.
They're fucking with me too. I'm like, what's your name? The guy says the name. Then I'm like, what's your name? He says the same name as him. I'm like, all right, those like clearly aren't your names, but all right. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to get very far with this. And the thing that was the most painful about it was that there was a couple people who were like actually interested and like wanted to listen, but it was just too distracting. It was impossible. It just was impossible. And you know, every comedian knows. And I get why the event organizers might not have. First of all, maybe they just don't care. And why should they? It was potentially good enough. And maybe there's a guy out there or a girl out there who could go up there and kill during that. Maybe that person exists. I don't think that I can think of anybody, even some of the best. I was running through my head like the best comedians that I know of, if they could do it. And I don't think they could. I think there's like a specific type of person or act that you need for something like that. And the comedy isn't one of them. I just am like talking about bullshit. They just immediately start zoning out. And plus they can't hear me. So the two or three kids who like, they can, but like it's like.
It's too much.
So like there's a couple kids intently listening and eventually the group goes from like 100 to like 7 by the end of it. And some kid comes on stage who had a nickname. He like gave me a really big hug, which was like really annoying. It was like an annoying hug. He was like trying to be funny. I was like, dude, I want to just fucking kick the shit out of you. And you can't like say, they can say whatever they want to you, but you can't say anything to them. So like this girl I was like asking people what they wanted to be. One person's like, I want to be a CEO. They're saying all things that aren't going to happen. And then this one girl's like, I'm going to be funnier than you. And it's not going to be hard.
She said that? She said that?
How badly I wanted to counter insult her, but it just would have been in poor taste.
How many people were around when that was said?
Probably 15 or 20. But like the people across the audience wouldn't have been able to hear her.
Yeah.
And it was only, 10, 15 feet. So anyway, I did the 20 minutes. I got out of there. I felt terrible for like an hour. And then I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets. So at that point, I had a hotel room because I was like, I might want to stay over, but there's a chance that I'll just have so much energy from getting through that or like whatever. Sometimes if you feel great, you have energy. If it's terrible, you have energy. Or sometimes you're tired. Like it's hard to predict. So I was like, I am going to probably drive home, but I might stay at a hotel. So anyway, I decide to drive home. So I'm driving, whatever, feeling like shit. All good. I get home to Brooklyn at like 2:45 in the morning, which actually isn't that bad, all things considered. So I realize at that point that I don't have my key. I left my key behind for the cleaning lady, and I don't have a key. Hill Dog could have left her key too, but she's like, can you just leave yours? Like, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But like, we didn't think through this. So now this is annoying me because like me leaving my key and her leaving her key, there's no difference. So I was like, why would I have left mine? And then I'm like, is this my fault for not reminding her? Or is she supposed to be responsible for thinking of this? Now that I've left my key and done that solid, should she be thinking about my key for me or not? I don't know. Whatever. So I get back. She's asleep. I come, I ring the doorbell 10 times, doesn't answer. I call 50 times, doesn't answer. I'm like, fuck. So I get in the car to sleep in the car. It's now like 3:40. I recline the seat, and as I'm sort of making some progress, I just hear, fucking mosquito, dude. I'm trying to get it. I can't get it. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to wander around and call her 10 times periodically to see if she hears it or wakes up. And eventually I have this idea, and it was brilliant, honestly. I had left my Apple Watch at home because like I was saying to you, I've been trying to use it less. And I realized that it's on Find My and that I can ping it from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I get as close as I can to the door. I get the signal and I start pinging it and it wakes her up.
It wasn't dead?
Dude, so it was on the charger, but it had fallen off the charger and it was down to 2%.
Wow.
I know. So things turned around in my favor. But what a night, dude, right?
Dude.
What a night.
That sounds like a Black Mirror episode where you get stuck in the phone.
I know.
Or you get reincarnated as an Apple Watch.
I know.
Damn, dude. Was that like
An adventure.
So what time did your head hit the pillow? 4?
Which is fine, but dude, I'll say this, man. It's like doing a gig and then driving all night. You're pretty much fucked for a while. It's just going to take a while to recover from that. I've done it a couple times and it's tough. Like that next day you're done. And then usually the day after you're done too.
Yeah.
And Monday you feel like you drank all weekend when you didn't. You know what I mean? Which sucks. So anyway, it's like not it, but it felt better than like waking up at, oh, and I also had an 8 a.m. citizenship consultation the next morning, which I woke up for. So anyway,
And
like
where was that?
on my computer,
Oh, okay.
fortunately. But anyway, so like whatever. But it felt better than like driving back half of my day Sunday and like losing my Sunday. But whatever. So that's that.
Damn. What would you have said to the girl that said she'll be funnier than you faster if you could have said it to her? What did you want to say? I'm sure you had something. It could be mean. We want to
No,
hear
I
it.
didn't. I didn't.
We want
Honestly,
to
like
hear it.
the only things I can think of are things that I wouldn't actually want to say out loud, even if they were right. Just like things that weren't even necessarily true. Just be like, you're ugly, like you're a loser, whatever broad, hurtful shit I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be getting into it with a high school kid. I think, and some kid came up to me after the show and was like, dude, I don't understand how you like just did that. Like, that's crazy. He's like, as John Mulaney says, like high school kids are the worst groups of people. And I'm like, all right, dude, fuck off. You know, in my head, I'm like, all right, I guess I appreciate it. Some other kid like came and dapped me up, but I'm like, this is stupid.
Everything felt patronizing.
Everything felt patronizing. I left out something important. I got in a fucking car accident on the drive up to New Hampshire.
Okay. Jesus Christ. This sounds horrible. Not worth X amount of dollars.
Well, anyway, so I guess I like saw it coming fast enough that like I was able to stop enough. But like some dude was basically just stopped in the middle of the highway, and then another dude had to stop because of it. And then I had to stop because of it. And I basically just rear-ended a guy, and somehow there was no damage on either car.
Really?
We both just drove away. Dude, it was like a...
You on the Merritt?
I was
highway?
on 91.
Okay.
And dude, yeah, like all the shit like flew forward in the car. Like it was a proper rear ending. And somehow no damage.
You feel any pain?
No pain.
That sounds like it sounds like it didn't happen.
And bro, no, we got out of the car and the kid was like, bro, this is my dad's car. He's like, the guy in front of me is an asshole, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I was like, oh, dude, it's fine. Like I saw what happened. I know it's not your fault, but also I rear-ended you. Like in theory, it's like my fault no matter what if I rear-ended you, right? But I didn't say that. But anyway, he's like, I think we're good, dude. I think we're good. Fucking couple daps and then went on our way.
Damn, dude.
Crazy.
And that was all one day.
So no, that was the first day. Then I stayed overnight, and then the next day was the gigs.
Was the high school gig.
The high school gigs and the like corporate and then the high school back to back.
Oh yeah, because you were there before. When you do a corporate gig, I know the high school gig, the kids they don't know what's coming, so it's a complete blind shot when they're like, all right, a comedian's coming out.
They don't know how to listen. You're like an adult. It's weird. It's weird, dude.
But when you're doing a corporate gig for a company, let's say I work for that company and I know that I have an event that night. Do I know that comedy's involved, or I just know that there's like can I just expect there might be a performance, whether it's musical or comedy or motivational speech?
Yeah. So I suspect that most people knew that there'd be a comedian. I think that like during dessert hour or whatever, there's going to be a comedian. Now, this is the thing about this. Now, there's people sitting in the front, but it's a big room. So like in the back, there's like a dessert buffet, and then there's standing tables where people are standing and chatting. There's a bar. So there's stuff going on. So like there are people who are intently listening and enjoying the whole show, and then people who aren't, and then people who you sort of need to win over. They're not convinced. They're not impressed. But like maybe you'll get them, and then everyone starts having fun for a period of time, and like so it's like that whole thing. So, and then also so the air conditioning was broken, so I think that was a problem because some of these people were a little heavier set, and they were like it was hot. So I'm on stage in a suit. Mm-hmm. I'm hot as fuck. So it's challenging. It's challenging, but it was good. The sound system was pretty good. And I've talked to a couple other comedians who do a bunch of these, and they've said some funny shit. They're like, look, dude, I do these all the time. They're like, I probably bomb 70% of the time, but it's fine. They go, just make sure that you don't agree to like hang out with them after. Because like if you bomb and then you have to like have dinner with the CEO, like that sucks. You just like get out of there as fast as you can. I'm like, hilarious. That's a hilarious insight.
How long did it take for you to get out of the high school group?
So I actually wonder about this. So it's a good question. And I'll say this one thing about the corporate first. In theory, it's super helpful to have information about the group. In theory. Mm-hmm. And if there's some way you can like joke about the company. Now, joking about the company can be risky because it makes it seem like you're not funny enough to just have your own material. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to go too hard pandering. But I was hoping they would send me some dirt on people or whatever, and they didn't. So I guess the CEO or whatever was giving a speech before and sort of shouting out the people who had like performed the best at the company this year. It was like a sales group, which I would actually argue is potentially a tougher group of people to perform for than maybe another sector, just because they kind of like have chutzpah, you know, confident, big personality people. Like a guy after the show went, "Good job," and he did this. He like hit me pretty hard in the chest, like a backward handed alpha male. So anyway, I was listening to the CEO's speech and I heard a bunch of the names of the people, and then I started shouting those people out with like generic things and be like, "Oh, Ryan Lynch, what a dog." You know what I mean? Just like saying, which like kind of got some laughs. And then as the show went on, I started to learn who these people actually were, and that was kind of funny. So like, whatever you got to do to survive. Re the high school. My buddy who like sort of set the whole thing up, I don't know if he was like thinking we would hang more after or something, but he's like, "All right, you're done." Like, and I was like, "All right, like I think I'm gonna drive back, so I should get going, whatever." And then he like called me when I was in the car just to like maybe take my temperature. Like I couldn't tell if what he thought I thought, or if he thought I thought anything, or if he cared. Like this guy's a pretty straightforward guy. Like if I were to not do well, he would be like, "That was bad." And I think for this one, we both were like, "All right, that was just tough. Like that was so tough." But I don't know. So anyway, I got out of there probably in 5 minutes. I didn't like run out. I have dignity. I was like, whatever. Like I talked to the event organizers and said, "Thank you." I wasn't like, "Oh my God, that was so hard," to like anybody except my friend. I was like, I was like, dude, that was like the craziest thing I've ever done. It was sadistic. I put it up there, probably my top 5 worst gigs I've ever done, as far as like difficulty.
Damn.
I bombed really bad one time, and I was like, felt like I was gonna faint. I started like seeing stars. I was only opening for somebody too. This didn't happen here, which I'm happy about. And then I did a college way back in the day that was like similar to this. There was like a million things going on, but anyway. So that's that, Lynch.
When's the most recent bombing that's in your top 5?
Man, I don't even know. It like doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like probably some random club show in the city where there was no one there, and like it was a bad show, bad crowd, stupid crowd, like whatever it might be. Like, but none of those like matter. Like this. Like this is like bad. This is like you. It's like humiliating.
Yeah.
It was humiliating.
And you have a car ride to marinate on it.
Car ride to marinate on it.
Should have stuck around. The alpha move would have been to stay the whole time.
Potentially.
And terrorize the kids.
Especially since I was going to have to sit around for an hour outside of my apartment. Little did I know.
That's tough.
Yeah, dude. So
what was Hill Dog's reaction when she opened the door?
she was like, "I'm sorry." But I don't know. I didn't like get into it, but like I don't know to what degree she realized, or she should have even, maybe she should have realized that she should have like thought about the key. I'm still not sure. Like, should she have? Should I have? What do you think?
So she was going to be home the whole time no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she should have left her.
She knew I was driving home too. Like
Yeah.
we spoke on the phone actually as I was driving home. She's like, "All right, drive safe." Like went back to bed.
And you left the key for the cleaning person,
Uh-huh.
which was after she picked it up, was left in the house. So Hill Dog came home later that day with your key on the counter.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think it might have been worth it to give her a call.
I know. I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
And clearly neither of us did. So whatever, no big deal. And you know, she's a great partner. I'm not going to sit here and complain about that. But yeah, dude, I don't know.
Damn, dude.
I know. Tough, right?
Damn indeed.
Tough. So yeah, man, what's going on with you?
Went to a couple Yankees games last week, and the people that go to these games are so unaware of how they should behave when they're at a public event. A lot of it has to do with people that don't know where their seats are, getting to their seats late, and not being able to locate their seats once they get to the row in which they know that their seat is.
Is it hard? If I were to go, I don't think I've ever been in the Yankee Stadium. Would I have trouble figuring it out?
No. There are numbers for the section. There are numbers in order for the rows, and there are numbers in order for the seats. And the amount of people that don't understand how to get to their seat might be enough of a reason to not allow you to go. I have such disdain for some of these people. The person sitting in front of me at the first game that I went to, I called him Standy Andy because he always found himself standing during the middle of an at-bat, an important at-bat at that, Giulio.
Doing what? Not cheering?
Moving his jacket,
Oy.
putting popcorn from one chair to another chair, touching his belt. Just like the most nothing stuff. And I would love if each sport, every sport had one game or one match or a bunch of them per year dedicated only to people that could take a test and answer a knowledge-based quiz about the players and the team.
Standy Andy might have been able to.
That guy didn't even, he was looking at me more than the field, dude. That guy fucking sucked. And he wasted his money because all he did was he just kept getting food. He just kept getting
a bigger
food.
Gentleman?
No, he just was an idiot.
Bottomless
He's an
pit.
idiot. A person I know nothing about that I'm going to write off as an idiot.
Idiot.
And I'm an idiot, but not me.
Not you.
Because I'm me. I wouldn't say that. Like, he could be much smarter than me. He'd be making tons of money. Idiot. What an aloof goof, dude. I hated his presence. We don't need people like that at the stadium. So there should be, that can't happen because, they got to make money. So there's got to be a couple of games a year, maybe just 4 out of the 81 baseball games at a stadium per year, 4, where you need to take a test, 100 questions, multiple choice. And you need to score a 65. That'll weed out a ton of people. 65 will weed out a ton of people. If it was 75, the stadium would be at like 3% capacity. 65%.
You think that low? 3% capacity?
Yeah.
Isn't it like 40,000 person stadium or something?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
People don't know anything. And that's why I'm a snob about it because it's so religious to me. It's so religious to me and my friend Chris. And we go to the games and there's people that just don't know what's going on and they're taking selfies. And I get it. It's a sceney type of situation for some people. But for a very small group of us that know everything that's going on, this is like going to the family cookout on a Sunday. And it feels so just not genuine sitting around all these people that when the Yankees do win a World Series are going to get to celebrate as if it was the best day of their lives, whereas it truly will be the best day of my life. Mm-hmm. And that's my blood.
It's a tough thing, man. I mean, this is an age-old thing in sports. It's like you need those people because otherwise the game can't survive on the scale that it does. And there's still people who are big fans, you know what I mean? But I know what you mean. Like inevitably at a baseball game, there's people there. Oh, let's go to the game. It'll be fun. We'll fucking, you know what I mean? But they don't know what's going on. That would surprise me if you had to get a 75, if it would actually weed out 97% of the people. I wonder how hard the questions would be.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's as simple as naming 6 out of the 9 people in the batting order in the right place, is that an easy one in your opinion?
Batting order gets flipped around too much. But if you were able to name
6 out of 9 people.
Name 12 out of the 40 men on the roster.
Okay.
Name a little more than 25%. Can you do that? A lot of people, no way. Is Derek Jeter still playing? That's the type of shit you hear.
That's not good.
It's the type of shit you hear from someone who's positive.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Not good.
There at least I'd like to have a wristband that says big fan, an exclusive, something exclusive for people that spend time with Michael Kay and Meredith Marakovich and Bob Lorenz every single day on the Yes Network. People that know that Brett Gardner's last baseball game, though he wasn't given a retirement ceremony, though he deserved it, not necessarily needing his number retired, but a proper send-off. His last game was the wild card game in 2021 at Fenway Park on the 3rd of October. There needs to be some sort of spot for fans like that can just, a section in the stadium. They have the judges' chambers for whatever Make-A-Wish kid walks by. They just throw them a seat at the judges' chambers. Give it a section for the guys and gals that know. that would mean a lot in all sport. In all sport.
I like it. And actually, it could be interesting to do like a merit-based thing where like you get privileges at the park for knowing so much.
Yeah.
As opposed to spending.
Well, you get to take a picture with Aaron Judge.
You get to take a picture with Aaron Judge. You get to sit behind the home plate at some point because you scored the best on the test.
Yeah.
What a nice world that might be, right?
Or like a lottery for the no-shows. Those are legend seats down there, the ones with the unlimited sushi and steak buffet. For any seats that go unoccupied, after the sixth inning, that person's not coming. Lottery system,
stay open?
lottery system. You give those tickets out. You forfeit your ticket if you don't come by the seventh inning, which I don't even know if they allow you in at that point. Whatever they stop allowing people in. If you're not in your seat, it can be, you forfeit it, and then it gets sent into a lottery system to anybody that's part of the big fan club that is in the attendance that night.
This is a great plan.
And it's like getting an upgrade on an airline.
Dude, nothing used to make me happier than when, for example, the New Haven tournament, but any tennis tournament, like somebody would be leaving and they'd be like, do you want our tickets? And they'd be like amazing tickets. And we would like lose our minds. Like we'd be like, ah.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny that the people who get those tickets usually don't appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I guess like you just get used to it, like anything in life. But I do find that interesting, and I hope that I never lose that. The only problem is that there have been times where I've left games early and tried to get people my good seats, and they get offended. They're like, "No, this seat's perfectly fine." I'm like, "Oh, I like, okay, fine." You know what I mean? But which bums me out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not trying to flex on you, dude.
You're supposed to be the most friendly. And you don't look for clout or anything like that.
I'm not like, I'm giving my seats to this loser.
You're not aura farming. Like,
yeah, I'm not.
You're literally just, hey,
here you go.
Your kid looks unhappy.
Yeah. So maybe my dad is just a exceptional in that way. He had no problem with that. He'd be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Guys, we're sitting in the front row. Yeah.
Yo, that's something. I think I'm going to build out like a proper statement about that. There's got to be some incentive.
This is good, dude.
There's got to be some incentive.
This is a good regional lynch rant that could really get some steam.
I'm going to spend our entire honeymoon crafting the bylaws.
You have to have lamp black on your cheeks, Yankees hat.
Yeah.
And maybe some other sort of identifying factor.
In baseball, if you make it 10 years in the league, you get a golden card. And whenever you retire, or just from that moment on, you automatically get, I think, 2 or 4 tickets to any regular season game, any stadium for the rest of your life.
If you played in the league?
If you make it to 10 years in the league.
Do you think those guys even use the tickets?
Probably not. Or I don't know. Probably, yeah. Yeah.
But like if they wanted to go to a game, couldn't they just go without like needing seats? Like if I was like Pedro Martinez, like I don't need to like.
Well, that's the point of the card. And a lot of people don't make it to 10 years. So it's like, I'm sure even if you played 4 years in the league and you played for the Reds and you knew everyone there, you call up every once in a while and you're like, hey, can I come? Yeah, of course. But like.
And then you probably get like the best seats in the house too.
Yeah. But you could be the shittiest, most below average player that survives 10 years and you can show up every single day.
But they might not, but no, you can't because you only get 4 a year, I thought. Just every game?
Every single game.
Of the entire league.
Of your life. Of the
every
entire
game.
league. Any game,
So,
just walk up.
So you can't be in every place at once, though, fortunately, for the league.
Unfortunately.
Well, so like, I wonder if you get better seats if you're like, you know, Barry Bonds versus Luis Polonia. Like, are those 4 seats created equal?
I'd assume so. But yeah, I bet the seats are in the exact same spot. They probably got like, I don't know, 16 seats. That's just a guess. 4 different baseball players in a party of 3. In a party of 4, and they have those seats dedicated to them. But
can you get them for your family?
I think so, yeah. But if they don't show up before the end of the 6th inning, they get forfeited to people in the big boy baseball club.
To people who can come within 50 points of their career batting average.
Yes. Yes. Within 50 points. But those tickets are up for grabs too if you don't come. The big baseball fan club, BB, the Triple BFC. That's it, dude.
Triple BFC. All right. What is the best place, in your opinion, per sport to sit in the stadium?
I sat courtside once, and that was a cool experience, but you only get to see a little bit of the game. You see a lot of butt a lot of player butt obstructing the view. So that wouldn't be the best place for basketball. I think just, and on the center court, 16 rows back, you get a nice view of everything, nothing obstructed. When we went to the finals game where the Celtics clinched and won, we sat like behind a basket on the side in the very, very back. I could barely see anything. I could barely see anything.
But it was the vibes, I'm sure, were elite.
Vibes were elite.
Would you prefer that over going to a regular season game sitting courtside?
I'd rather go to a regular season game sitting courtside than that.
But Yankees, you'd rather be in the World Series game that they clinched in the back.
Yes. I'd rather have the shittiest seat in the Bronx.
Yeah.
In the Bronx.
Bronx.
I love the Bronx.
For me, basketball on the court, but 40-yard line. Instead of and I know there isn't a 40-yard line, but just
okay, that paints it.
in your head, directly in the center, I feel like it's just a little too much looking. If you're on the 40-yard line, you can still see both sides, and there's a little bit less neck twisting.
Mm-hmm.
I've sat under the hoop a bunch, and that's pretty good, but I like seeing the other side of the court too.
Mm-hmm.
So I say 40-yard line. Also in literal football, I've never been to a professional football game or a college football game. It's like a fun fact about me potentially. So I don't know, but that's what I would guess. Tennis behind, front row behind the court, because if you're on the court, too much neck turning again.
Oh, really?
Yep, behind the court is the best. You just look straight on.
Yeah, that's how the TV angle is.
Match. Baseball, we already said. Hockey, I don't know. I don't care enough about it to have a thought. Although I do have enjoyed live hockey when I've gone to it.
Yeah,
And that's
hockey. I would say behind a net, similar to your view for tennis. I've enjoyed that when I went to Quinnipiac games.
Oh, they were good too.
Yeah, football's I think the worst sport to watch live. I think the broadcast makes it so much more pleasant to view because the field is so big. There's so many players, and you need that yellow line. That yellow line's not there.
I know.
And so you can't really tell about anything until 10
Interesting.
seconds after it happens. So after every close play, everyone's just...
Where have you gone to see a game?
I've been to MetLife twice. I saw a Giants game and I saw a Jets game, both playing against the Eagles. And that place sucks. That place sucks.
Does, right? It's also it's the biggest stadium in the NFL.
Really? Mm-hmm. That place is in a county in New Jersey where all businesses are closed on Sundays. So the fact that it is sharing a parking lot with the second largest mall in the country makes no sense at all.
What's the largest?
In the country, I know we've done the top 10,
I know, but what about in the
Mall of
country?
America?
It's still bigger?
It's still bigger. Or no, this is smaller, slightly smaller.
This is smaller than the Mall of America.
Yeah, American Dream, and that place, you can't go into any stores after the game or before the game. You can't do any shopping.
Is the mall cool?
No, it sucks. COVID fucked it. COVID fucked it. My dad works in parking, and they were about to be the parking people there. They were gonna win. They won the bid or whatever, and then COVID happened, and then that place just didn't get a fair chance. It's supposed to be an amusement park. I think they have it, but it sucks.
There's skiing too, right?
There's skiing. I've been there a couple of times, and most of the retail stores are vacant. Really, really bad.
I gotta go check it out.
Why are you putting a massive mall in a place that can't be open on Sundays? Only restaurants.
Why can't it be? Is there a law?
It's the Blue Star law. It's a couple of counties in New Jersey, and I think a couple in the Northeast.
This is East Rutherford?
Yes. But what's the county?
Somerset?
East
County?
Rutherford. No, I'm Somerset. I'm Somerset. We can shop anywhere on Sunday due to Bergen County's blue laws.
Bergen County. Oh, God.
So the attractions are the blue law. Restricts the sale of certain items on Sundays, including clothing, furniture, and appliances. So
Interesting.
you can go to Red Mango, buy a T-shirt there.
Well, Bergen County's nice too. Hate to see it.
It is nice. So
All right.
that's it.
Well, Lynch, good chat as always. Good luck out there, guys. Enjoy your summers. Come see me at Zany's in Nashville, the 20th and 21st. I got 2 shows there. It's going to be a lot of fun. My dad's going to be down there with me because we're going to the Smoky Mountains the previous couple days. So he's not going to perform, but he'll be there on Friday. In case you guys happen to be poking around, you might see him in the mix.
Is the Smoky Mountains from This Land Is Your Land? From the Smoky Islands. This land
Wait,
was
Smoky-
made for you
Smoky
and me.
Mountains. You said islands.
Mountains.
You said islands.
Oh, it's New York. Is it New York
From
Islands?
California to the New York Islands. Yeah. They may be in there. I don't know. I don't know the lyrics.
That it's New York.
But sorry, Lynch. So anyway, come to that. Also, Duckworth's Comedy Club at Duckworth's, 17th to the 19th of July. Subscribe to my Patreon. A lot of cool stuff. I just put up the director's commentary video for the Alaska stuff, which people have really been enjoying. So my Nepal video is coming next. Also, August 21st, 2 shows in New York City. Should be great. And then St. Pete, 26th, 27th of September. And Houston, November 7th. Come check it out. Oops Podcast@gmail.com. Lynch.
Check me out at Ryan is Really Polite. Steamer Medicate show on June 25th. Ticket link in my bio. And comment below a Yankees player from the 2014 roster.